All right. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Frosty's Numismatic Nexus podcast. You guys, I'm tired. Last night was fun. Popped in and said hi on Meg's channel. It was her birthday stream, and I was up way later than I anticipated. I do have a little bit of camera lag. Hopefully my internet clears up and that resolves. But anyway, all right, good. Let's see who's here. We got Mr. Jeff Davis is in the house. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Good morning, me. Jeff, thanks for being a channel member. Matt T. Coins is in the house. Matt, thank you for being a channel member. Jackalope Herdmaster is down for lunch. Let's do it today, 1 o'clock. That sounds good to you. We've been procrastinating lunch. Let's do it. Let's find a time. I'll email me and I'll send you my telephone number and we'll get together. We're going to do lunch. No more procrastinating, bud. We're going to get this done. William E is in the house. William, thank you for being a channel member. I appreciate you. AZ Coins, he's over here throwing up the Air Force stuff. Or is that King Friday? Oh, I just got on top chat. What happened? Kane Friday was throwing up the Air Force, and then me counteracted with the Navy. Go Navy, yo! I don't care what service you're in. I appreciate my brothers and sister who serve. So thank you for much. You need to drive with my wife. You'll be here in about 8. Yeah, I would love to have lunch with a lot of you guys. That would be so much fun. I'd really enjoy that. All right, let's get back on track. We're saying how do you do's. So we've got David Carlisle. David is not here, man. David, your package went out. Hopefully you should see that pretty soon. UCI to Learn's in the house. Good to see you. Thank you for being here in the stream this morning. I appreciate it. We got a full schedule today. We got a lot of cool things that are going on. I've got a couple of things that I want to say ahead of time real quick. What's up, Blistering Barnacles? My brother across the pond. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Me needs to top off his coffee. Outstanding. All right. So what I'm going to do, me, before you take off, I want to share this. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you like doing things for other people, you like doing stuff for kids, me's sister is a elementary school teacher, and they are looking for people to send Valentine's Day cards, handwritten letters, that kind of stuff to their school. What's up, Papa York? If this is something you guys would like to do, email me, !email, and I will give you the pertinent information. I think this would be a lot of fun. This is definitely something that I'm going to be doing. I'll probably reach out to the teachers, find out who the kids are in the class by first name, and then just send them like 30 cards. Then they can divvy them out, or just find out how many boys or girls are in each class, divvy them out, and then they can do so accordingly. But if this is something you want to do, I'm going to jump on board with this. They want people from different states, so I'm going to be the Texas contingent. But if you live in another state, hey, check it out. Send them a couple Valentine's Day cards. Really simple, really easy. But again, just reach out to me, let me know, because this is something that I think could be a lot of fun. All right. So today, as you can tell, I'm going to shove myself up in the corner real quick, and I'm going to kind of talk to you a little bit about what's going on today. So today we're going to be talking about slabs. And if you guys have seen earlier in the week, there were some pieces of information that came out regarding 2 NGC slab ASEs. And they were listed as First Strike, MS-70, and they were complete counterfeits. The slabs were counterfeits, the labels were counterfeit, the coins themselves were counterfeits. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of information, a little bit of resources on how you can combat and how you can prevent buying, or how you can kind of identify slabs. What's up, Brown Sugar? Good to see you in here. Thanks for being in here. And so I really wanted to kind of take a few minutes and walk through some of the things you can do. Now, the resource that I'm about to share is something that I put together, but the item that I put together is all taken from NGC. All I've done is try to centralize it in a manner that makes it easy for you to use. Okay. The links in the description on the document below. Now, I do have some edits to the document that I'm going to do, but I want to go ahead and share this with you now. So what you're going to see on your screen, I'm going to go ahead and make this big. I'm going to disappear. So bye-bye. Holy cow, me just gifted 10 memberships. Me, you're a stud, man. I really appreciate you. Yankee Doodle Stacker, Silver Shocker, Crafty Dragon, Silvershire, Mark Carney, Jeff Davis, Thomas Triptana Nichols, Space Miner, Begotten Solitude, iCirc, and Michael Stacking were all gifted memberships by me. If you're in the stream and you're in one of these channels, please boom, boom, and say thank you to YouTube me. I definitely appreciate you, brother. That is awesome. All right, I'm going to make this big. All right, so I'm going to actually, let me do this. I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to show you kind of a generalized view of what I've done here. Okay, so now this is going to be made available to everybody. I do have a couple small edits to make, so this will be coming up on my community page here in a little while. But what I've done is I've added, obviously, the title of today's topic. So go back and you can look at it. And you're going to be able to look at the thing. Okay, so Jackalope just said something. Now I'm going to pin this comment. And I'm going to explain to you why that is both good and bad. The reason that it's good is because you want to make sure that it's there. Now, if it's been reported and it is a fake, the registration won't show up. It will have been pulled down. Now, NGC and PCGS both are very good about doing this. It's something that's really important. Hey, thanks for throwing that up there, me. I appreciate you doing that. But if they haven't reported it, if it hasn't been reported and it hasn't been announced to NGC, that will show up as an authentic slab. But what you have to do is you have to look at the slabs very, very carefully. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to put together a list of things, some of the common things that you can look for in counterfeits, and put it together in a singular resource. Now, again, all of this information is from NGC. All of this, the documents, the images, some of the verbiage is mine, but most of the information came straight from NGC. All of the reference photos, the scans of what happens when you look at the hologram, as well as information regarding the two primary types of coins that you might find inside the slab. All this information is here. Now, down below, I've listed that the references are from NGC regarding slabs and counterfeiting, identification and reporting measures. But what I did for you all is I put this together in a nice, easy to use Adobe PDF. And so I'll be posting this to my community page. I already have, like I said, I already have a couple edits that I need to do, but I want to make sure that you guys have these resources available to you. All right, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit and I'm going to go over the first one. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at, try to do this to where it takes up just the perfect amount of the screen. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so a little bit of NGC history. Okay, so NGC history, NGC started in 1987. Oops. Sorry, that was the wrong one. I have to be on the right screen to do that. Okay, so NGC started in 1987, and for about 3 to 5 months, NGC started with this first slab. And this first slab is here's the black slab, and it's got the information here. There's no NGC logo behind it. You don't really see any kind of identification as far as who the item is until you flip it over and you look at the reverse, and then you'll see the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, which for those of you who didn't know what NGC stood for, there you go. But again, there were not really any markers here. When you look at the slab, there was nothing about the slab that kind of was whatever. They rattled just like the old PCGS rattlers. They held the coin fairly decent, but it was, it was a first issue. It was something that they were still working on. But as they continued on in December of 1987, they started what they called the white core. Now, the reason that they went to the white core was because when you had things like brown Lincoln cents or old large cents or flowing hair cents or things of that nature, you have to accent that coin somehow, because otherwise you can't really see the coin. And what they figured out is that if you put this next to a really white stark contrast, allowed that coin's details to pop out a little bit. And so they moved to the white core. Now, as you can tell on the back, they changed to what we would be familiar with as the color pattern. Now, the color pattern is slightly changed, but that kind of taupish brown color was going to be utilized. Now, I know for some of you, this is going to be very small, but again, I will put the resource on my community page as soon as some of the edits are finished. All right, so we move into 1990. Now, in 1990, they introduced the first hologram, but they started to implement countermeasures, some security measures that actually kind of tracking says it landed. Copy that, Papa York. I'll go check that out later today. Thank you for that update. You guys are going to be looking forward to what he sent me. I think it's going to be extremely cool. So hint, hint, teaser, teaser. But they introduced the first hologram, and the image here isn't very clear, and I apologize, it's a little bit fuzzy. But you have the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation of America here. You have that blue holograph image. Now, these are very collectible. Again, this is something that has been duplicated a lot. But there are two things that you need to look at when you're looking at here, because again, there's a little nuance here that a lot of people don't recognize. And I'm going to try and zoom in. I'm going to tell you right now that the image is going to be extremely blurry and extremely grainy. But when you look at the images in the PDF, you will see that they're much higher much higher quality. And so you'll be able to see this. But what I want you to look at is right here. Okay, so you see this little marked area. It's this little area right here. Now I'm going to bookmark this on my StreamYard so that you can go back and come to this exact point at 1247. What you're looking at is, see this rough type text? This is old dot matrix printer. There are two tan lines beneath the date. Okay, so this is one of the first items you really want to look at. There are two separate lines from this NGC, the weights and measures item, that it is right here. And you'll see two lines. The bottom line of the text is in line with that third line. So if you see this and you look at the year 1991, okay, I'm going to zoom back out, 1990, excuse me. If you look at this particular year and you see that that particular item is even with that brown hologram area, if you look at that and you see that it's down below that, like it doesn't meet it, or it has 3 or 4 lines, or that background in that area is one solid lump of line, you know you have a problem. Okay, so this is one of your first kind of hidden security tells that they started to do back in the day. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move up to 1993. Now, in 1993, they changed some stuff up again. Now, this is where they did the introduction of the barcode. As you can see, you have the barcode right here. Now, the barcode comes in a block 3. That means normally it's split into 3 blocks by 2 major areas. Now, the barcode's going to change depending upon the coin and the number and stuff like that. So that's not always a general rule of thumb, but there usually is a split. So you got 2 basic numbers here. So it's either block 2, block 3, but usually, and this should be block 2, not block 3. It should be 2 primary blocks of lines. But again, the same security feature is here. What's up, Ringmaster Ray? Good to see you, bud. What's up, Azure? the same security feature is here. This is where you have that line underneath those two lines. Okay. Again, it's got to be two lines. And they should happen. So that bottom line of that barcode should be in line with those bottom two items. Now, this is where the slabs change a little bit, and that's moving from 1993 to 1997. Now, as a reminder, when you're looking at these particular items, it's important to remember two things. Number one, I'm going to go back up here to 1990, and I'm going to look at 1993. Okay. I'm going to ask a question. This is going to be the first trivia question. This is going to be put into Swagalicious just joined the planchette. Wow. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know why that didn't come up on my feed. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much for the membership. I appreciate you. All right. But here's what I want to look at. And this is going to be for my first little kind of trivia giveaway item. I want you to look at these two items. And I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. If I have a slab, oh, what's up, member 3 months from me. Thank you so much, me. You supported the channel so graciously. I appreciate you being a mod, bud. I appreciate you more than you know. When you look at the 1990, 1993 slabs, okay, and you see that one has a barcode and one does not. If I have this particular slab and it has a 1995 red FS 501 double die obverse, do I have a problem? Critical thinking, right? So if I have this slab and it has a 1992 double die obverse, is it real or is it fake? Brian Jensen says it's fake. Can you tell me why, Brian? Oh, let's do this. Before you do that, don't enter that in there. Everybody else in chat, do you agree with Brian's assessment? Do you think that it's real or do you think that it's fake? And the reason that I'm asking these questions is because I want you to think critically when you're looking at these slabs. Critical thinking is an essential skill when you're looking at identifying counterfeits. And I can be patient. I don't mind. Nobody wants to answer. That's fine. All right, Brian, well, do me a favor. Exclamation point email and send me your address. I'm going to send you something. In fact, it would be fake. And the reason that it would be fake is because this slab was, well, hold on just a second. I think it is not mine. I'm not sure what that means. So if you look at this one, right, they were discontinued in 1992. So could you have one? Probably. I mean, you could have one, but you'd have to be very careful. You wouldn't have a 1995, right? You couldn't have a 1995 slot. I think I might have said 1992. I meant 1995. I think I said 95. I don't remember. Anyway, you could not have a 1995 coin in this slab. They were discontinued in 1992, right? So it means I don't want a fake coin. Gotcha. And so you want to be very careful when you're looking at these. So knowing the slabs is very, very important, right? If you have a 1995 coin in this particular holder, that should be a major red flag for you. Okay. So that's something I'm going to get to very, very quickly. And that is the fact that often there are misspellings, especially when you're looking at the hologram. But yeah, and it's one of those things where you're looking at, knowing the differences, but there are subtle differences and things that you need to look at. For instance, when you're looking at 1993 to 1997, Okay, you are not going to find a 1998 wide AM, a 2000 wide AM with the reverse of this hologram. You won't do it because that hologram stopped in 1997. So you won't see it. It won't be there. So knowing the history of the slabs is going to help you determine sometimes whether it is or it isn't fake. Now, you can look at differences within. So when we go from 93 to 97, you'll notice something changed within the label. And that is, and it's kind of hard to see. But on the reverse, you have the change. And in 1997, the NGC was classified and labeled as a official member, the official grading service of the American Numismatic Association. Now, so the slab itself on the reverse changed. Okay, so between 93 and 97, the front basically remained the same. You still have the two lines that fall underneath the barcode, which is important to identify. Well, as you're actually, what I'm going to do at the very end, I'm going to give you all the tips and the resources that you need in order to do that. And I'm going to tell you exactly what NGC wants you to do. So I will be giving you that information, so stay tuned. Now, when you're looking at the differences, again, if you're looking at this and you see this one and it has a 1998 wide AM or close AM or whatever the item might be, if it's a 1998 coin, not a problem, right? If it has this ANA, it's not a problem. You'll have, I mean, obviously there's still things to look at, but the date's right. The slab type is correct. So you should be good to go. Now let's get to here. Now this is one that I want to take a little bit of time to look at because there's a couple subtle differences and a lot of people get this wrong. A lot of counterfeiters get this wrong. And that's because they do something that is often mistaken. Number one, we have 2001. Okay, so in 2001, they added a new front label element. And the new front label element is the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation name label underneath the barcode. But I want you to look at that barcode. What's not there? That was there previously. Now remember, all the way up until the year 2000, when they introduced, well, actually, I shouldn't say all the way to 2000. It's between the years of 1990 and 2000. So for 10 years, they implemented these two tan lines underneath the barcode. In 2001, those two lines went away. Exactly, David Carlisle, those two lines. Those two lines went away. They're no longer there. So this is one place where the counterfeiters screw up. You will see the numismatic guarantee and you will still see those two lines. Or you'll have this version where there won't be the two lines. So these two lines are very important. They're a really simple thing, but often overlooked. Now, they've done these scanners and they have these photocopiers now where they do this and then they just lay the image back down. And so they can get the front of the coin right. More times than not, the label on the obverse of the slab will be wrong. There'll be spelling issues, the formatting will be wrong, or the lines on the text versus the barcode will be in the wrong position or wrong orientation. And it's really important. Now, there's also another kind of hidden thing. And I've only seen this a couple times, but I wanted to bring your attention to this. Now, this happened all the way from the beginning, and it should be the same all the way through to, I think it's 2016, but we'll get there in just a second. And that is when you look at the MS, okay, Swagalicious. Hey, thank you for becoming a channel member. I greatly appreciate you. So when you're looking at the date. So I'm looking at right here. Okay. It's important to know your lineups. Now, one thing that you want to look at is you want to look at the first two digits of the MS. So if it's a proof 60, if it's a proof 70, MS 60, MS 70, whatever it will be, that first digit should be directly under that dollar sign. Now, a lot of times they'll try to center these, and because they try to center these, they either don't leave the space between the MS62, or because of the spacings wrong on the machine that they're doing, these numbers shift. So you enter that dollar sign, that 6 may be pushed too far to the left. They should be directly underneath each other. Also, depending upon the number, the dash and then the 3 dots, the number before the dash should align as well. Now, that changes as years progress and more numbers come in, but that dollar sign and that first MS digit, when you're talking up until, I believe it's 2016, they changed that. But up through these dates, that is something else that you should be paying attention to. All right. Now, there's something else that I didn't mention in 1997 that as I was getting ready to scroll down, I just realized. They changed the slabs between 93 and 97. So if you look at the slab type, you'll see that this is the old NGC slab. Now, these are very important. Now, I'll tell you right now, if there's one area that I still don't yet understand, it's what you're looking at within the slab and the side of the slab. Now, when you're looking at the side of the slab, now remember, when I'm talking about, most of the times I'm talking about these things when you have them in hand. So when you're looking at the side of the slab, the one thing that you're looking for is you're looking for little slots. Now, I don't have a picture of this. Again, this is one of those things that I need to add to this particular presentation, this tool that I've developed for you. And that is, if you find one of these slabs and they have the little clippy slot things that allow you to open and close it, that is not an authentic NGC, PCGS, ANAX slab, period, end of story. It's not authentic. They don't use snap together slabs. So if you look at the side of the slab and you see that they have a little snap together clicky thingy, that's an instant tell that that is not an authentic slab. Now, it could be an authentic coin, but it is not an authentic slab. History normally would tell you that if you have a fake slab, that the coin and the slab are not going to coalesce. It's not going to be the same thing. Even if it's an authentic NGC slab that's been tampered, most likely the coin has been shifted or pulled out or changed or whatnot. So again, if you see a cracked slab or you see one of those little ones that have the little clippy, planchety, clappy things on it, and I'm sorry I don't have the image for it right now, but I'll definitely pull that up. It's a huge major tell for you guys. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm sorry to go kind of squirrely on that particular thing. I'll get back to that here just a second. So let's go ahead and move to 2008. Now, 2008, there were 3 significant changes in slab technology at NGC. The first thing that they did on the counterfeiting is they changed the actual slab type. Good morning, Victoria. How you doing? Hi, Amy. And again, folks, if I'm not saying hi to you, it's not that I don't care about you. It's that I'm trying to kind of focus on the information at hand. So if I miss you, please forgive me. No intent mess. What's up, Brian? Good to see you. Okay. All right. So one of the major changes, and if you look at, let me scroll up a little bit. If you look at the coin holder, right, the area where the coin sits, you're going to see the first major difference in the NGC slabs, right? When you look at the 2001, the holder actually caresses the entire coin, right? It actually sits around the entire coin. And for the most part, around that 97 to 2001, they stopped rattling. Still have the old PCGS rattlers and things like that, um, but you'll see that this is a major fundamental difference. Okay, so if you have this type of slab, okay, you want to make sure that it doesn't caress the coin. So if you look at the reverse of the and people counterfeiters are smart, but they make stupid mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes aren't stupid, they're calculated. And the reason that they're calculated is because if they try to make an exact replica, it's forgery. It's illegal. 1973 Coin Act, right, talks about forgery of coins and the numismatic items that are contained within them or on them. And so you want to be careful. And counterfeiters, they're smart. They will make things purposefully wrong to protect them from going to jail. Because what they do is when you look at like Alibaba and you go to some of these other sites where you can buy these slabs, and my video here, the Premier Train, which will be coming up here in about an hour and a half, I'm talking specifically about a slabbed ASC. I give you some of the extreme markers, what you need to look at, how it's there, what elements in the coin are there. But I also go to the site where that coin was purchased, and I'm showing you the details of what's there, the language that's being utilized, and they're very clear about the fact that they don't call it authentic. Okay. Hey, buying stock in Alibaba is probably not a bad thing. Just don't buy numismatics. Don't buy silver. Don't buy gold from them. It's funny to see some of these counterfeits. When you look at them, you get to choose your slab type. You get to choose your label type. You get to choose whether it's silver or gold plated. You can choose whether it's platinum plated. You can choose your denomination. You can choose your year, and then they manufacture the coin for you. It's horrible, and you can do it all for between $9 and $15. Now, the problem is that when they produce these items, they're producing these items not necessarily as counterfeit. They are producing them as artistry copies or coin slabs, and but they're not saying they're genuine. They're not saying they're authentic. They're saying, but they don't use the word replica. They don't use the word copy, because those are flags for people to not do that. Hey, welcome, Anthony. Good to see you. But the same thing happens with slabs. So you're going to often see things like spelling errors, placement errors, things that are purposefully done, like PCGS slabs that don't have the PCGS logo on the bottom. Because again, if a counterfeiter tries to replicate it exactly, that's forgery, and that's jail time. That's a federal offense, and they prosecute that. They prosecute it hard. So again, you'll see these little subtle differences. A lot of people think that counterfeiters are making mistakes. I don't believe that's the case. In many cases, I think they do it to protect themselves from legal entanglements. Sometimes the really bad ones are just they don't speak English, and they don't know how to use the because Google Translate, and Google Translate can yield out some wonky stuff. So be careful when you use Google Translate, especially if you watch certain types of videos online. It'll produce some very inappropriate translations for you that have nothing to do with what you're trying to translate. Anyway, so let's get back to looking at this 2008. So in 2008, obviously they changed what they call the edge view, and that allows you to see the edge of the coin. Now, why was this such an important advancement? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one is that when you're looking at different types of coins, you're looking at certain things like if it's electroplated or if it's cast, there'll be signs of that on the rim. If you're in one of the older slabs, then you won't necessarily be able to see the rim of the coin. And that edge, that rim, is very important when it comes to being able to identify fakes and forgeries. So this allows the opportunity for you to see that. Okay. Now, there's also, so the read security feature is a real thing. It's easy to counterfeit. They just identify, because once you have a coin and you can identify what some of those things are, then they try to replicate it. Being able to see it, you can see it, but you got to look for tooling marks and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things you need to look for, but you couldn't do that in the old NGC slabs. So in 2008, they improved their slabs. That improved not only counterfeit detection, but it also allowed for folks like you and I to be able to wise up and be able to look and see if there were some of the telltale signs of things like electroplating and things like that. Oh, outstanding, EMR. That's good. I'm glad you received your item. Now, the other thing, and I spelled security wrong again, little typos. See, I have to learn how to spell. Little security features. For instance, the slabbing edge, right? If you look at the difference between the previous one up here and this one here, your edges are a lot cleaner. And the reason that your edges are a lot cleaner is because they do a little bit, and I don't know what the name of it is. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research to find out exactly what the name is. So I'm going to bookmark this location for myself and come back and provide the answer for you. But it allows you to look at the slab and allows you to see when the coin is vacuum pressed or whatever they call that particular function. It allows you to see the seams better. It also allows you to see through the top to see if it has the proper sealing. Now, over here on the right-hand side, and I'll show you it in just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly, matter of fact, I'm going to slide over there right now, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So when you're looking at the weld joint, this is very important when it came here. They actually want to show you what an authentic weld joint is, okay, what it looks like. Now, remember, we're talking about that clear, nice, solid, clean image, okay? We're looking at that nice, clear, crisp item. However, when you look at the other ones, you can see that it's kind of broken. They're not really pressed together. Again, in some areas, if you look, oh, this is a great example right here. Now, this is kind of small. You may not be able to see it. And again, I'll add some additional images here. There's these little clippy things, right? And they happen at top and the bottom segments, and then the top center and bottom center. They're little clips that actually hold the slab in place. But some of them are actually pressed together, but they don't seal all the way through. And if you look at this sealed reeded edge here and across here, you can see that that connects all the way across. But here there's gaps. There's little breaks here. So you can see through this. This was another major advantage to the slab type that they went to. In 2008, huge leaps in NGC slab security were developed. And this is one of the ones that I personally think is one of the best, because it really allows you to look at the slab itself and say, oh, that just does not look right, right? Now, when you look at a lot of counterfeits, like the counterfeit that I show in the video that's in the Premier Train coming up here in about an hour, that one is an old slab type with a 2023 coin in it. So the slab type from that particular one is 20 years out of date. So knowing these slabs is very, very important. In 2016, another huge leap was done, and they changed a number of different items. These are the things that we see primarily today when it comes to counterfeiting, especially with your higher grade coins. Now, when you're looking at this, there's a bunch of stuff to look at. And I mean a bunch of stuff to look at on the new ones. Not nearly as much as the labels within PCGS. Now, I'll be doing another segment specifically on PCGS, but PCGS is way more robust, and they change about every 3 to 6 years with way more frequent updates. And as soon as a major issue with PCGS occurred, they resolved it. NGC kind of had a slow roll of these things, but within the last, 20 years, they made some great advancements. But in 2016 was by far their best one. And there are a number of different things that you want to look at in this particular slab. Now, one of the things you want to look for in this particular slab is that, come back over here, the date, the placement, the location, the shift, all of it changed. Remember earlier when I tell you that you wanted to look at the MS-62 and make sure that they aligned. I told you that in 2000, I can't remember if it's 2008 or 2016, but in 2008, the alignment of that $ with the 2 changed. This time it changed dramatically. Like the whole freaking thing shifted all the way to the left justification. But this is a major area in which you will find with the counterfeits. Okay? No more center place logo. Now you have the scales on the right-hand side. Now, when you photocopy this, these scales change, the item shift. This becomes very, very dark. So when you look at the counterfeit slabs, you will see this as a very pronounced image instead of a very light, subtle, multi-tone, kind of sepia color. When you look at the lettering, you're going to notice that on the fake slabs, in most cases, the lettering on the NGC is thicker. It's more robust. You have a thicker 6, a thicker 2, whereas, and I'll show you a slab, it's an older one, but it gives you a really good idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to the context of font, okay? Now, font is an important thing when you're looking at counterfeits. It's good when you're looking at numismatic items. It's good when you're looking at the In God We Trust. It's good when you're looking at the United States of America. It's really important when you're looking at things like Russian, German, Austrian, Australian, New Zealand coins. Font matters. It's going to be one of the biggest things that you can identify. I'll talk a little bit about, I've got another video coming out next week regarding counterfeits, regarding gold coins. You're definitely going to watch that because I have some words of wisdom from probably one of the most renowned counterfeiters within the state of Utah. And that's something you want to do. But the words basically that he said is that, you need to match it as closely as you can. Font is one of those items that'll really bust you up. So font is one of those key elements you're looking for. But another one of the elements that you're looking for is, again, the change in position. If we come up here and we look at the NGC, you're going to see that that no longer runs all the way across. In some of them, some of the counterfeits, not all of them, there's a wide variety between 2008 and 2016 because of the changes. You're going to see a lot of differences in these. But in a lot of items, there is something that happens here when they scan, when they photocopy it. Now, I have another picture of it, and I'll show you that in just a second. But I want you to notice that in 2016, that went away. They actually have the numismatic guarantee. They have the NGC with the logo. They have their trademark there. And again, it sits directly above the scale. But one of the items is this right here. When you're looking at NGC and you're looking at PCGS slabs, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bookmark this. Again, I'm bookmarking locations all the way along through here. So if you want to look at specific items that I think are very important, you'll be able to see those when the video comes out. That way, when the video is released and you go back and you watch this, you can go to that specific item and understand exactly what's happening. So in this particular case, what I see a lot of, and again, I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form. I am learning with everybody else. But what I see at this is that the letters or the numbers are to the right of the barcode or to the left of the barcode. And that's a major tell. Thanks, Farm Dog, with the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, bud. Thank you very much. You guys, I really, as I try to grow my channel, I'm really trying to think about what is it that I want to do. And really, I want to safeguard the community. I want to protect the community. I want to make sure, yeah, thank you for throwing that in there. I've got that list down below on my on this item, and you'll see that same information. But you'll see some of these things. And the thing that I really want to do is I really want to protect the community. I really want to give basic bare bones information in just a little bit different way. And so there's a lot of things that, and I'm glad Livecoin Q&A came in here because, Amanda posted a video earlier this week that kind of spurred, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I just haven't really engaged in it, but they did something that really spurred me on. And it's like, it's time to do this. Like, it's time to really do the deep dive. It's time to really dig in and give you guys the good information, the best information that I can. Now, have you heard this stuff before? Have you seen this stuff before? Absolutely. Right? Livecoin Q&A, the Coin Show podcast, they have the experts on their panels and they talk about these things. Right? So have you seen these? Probably. Has it been told to you in a way that you remember? Maybe. Right? But what's really important is that when you get this information, you just absorb it as much as you can. And then you look into it. And you get a couple of them. And you look at a couple of them. And you move on. And you watch the next show. And you ask questions. And what I want to do is I want to provide you the best information that I know how. So I will refer you to Livecoin Q&A all the time. All the time. Because I really respect what they do. I think EMR Coins, we were in IDAS the other day, EMR Coins said that, from a business standpoint, the level of information that you get from that show, you can't afford. If you had to pay for their service and you actually had to pay fair price for the free service that they provide, you couldn't afford it. The amount of information that comes out of that particular program is amazing. The people are amazing, and the work that they do is amazing. There's some amazing men and women that work their ass off to give you good, solid information and to protect you. I'm not at that level, but I sure as hell want to help. And so I'm going to do everything on my channel to help do things like prevent and combat counterfeits, to do things like teach people who key players like Jack Young are, and make sure that people are referred to those right people. And again, people say, well, Frosty, you're committing, YouTube suicide by doing this. And it's like, no. I'm not ruining my channel, right? My channel, I don't need to be the sole source of information for things. But if I can help you build your network, then I'm going to provide you a safer environment to do the collecting in. And so if I can be a resource in a wide field of people who are way smarter than me, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so let's get back to this. So again, when you're looking at this, again, the letters change. This is one of the major things I see. Number one, it comes down too far. It hugs this. The Numismatic Guarantee Corporation is gone, or it comes down below here. So this whole area here is really a major, major issue. Again, you're going to be looking at the edges of these, making sure they're sealed all the way across. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, before I post this to my community page, I'm going to add a couple more photos to really help out. Hey, what's going on, Begotten? Good to see you. But another major element that they did in 2016 was they changed their logo or their hologram. And this hologram has a lot of really cool things. Now, there's more than one NGC reverse hologram, and there's some security features, and I'm going to show you some of them. Now, again, you can look at what NGC doing is to combat. I think I don't know if who was on from Livecoin, if that was Sean or if that was Paula, or if it was Amanda. I don't know who logged in from there. But there is a NGC combating counterfeit page where they talk about the slabs, they talk about what NGC is doing, what steps are they taking, and that's really important to look at because they give you some of the ideas, they give you some of the things. Paula, okay, hi Paula. I figured it was probably you, but you never know. I know if Copper Coins comes in my stream, it's normally not Chuck, it's Eric, but you know, sometimes Chuck will come in here. Oh, excuse me, Charles. No, Chuck will come in and be a part of the stream. And so I always want to ask, especially when you have a multitude from people coming in, but I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for coming in, Charles. All right. So again, there are major things to look at. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to fly all the way to the top and I'm going to show you, again, this is NGC. All the information that is on this came from NGC. So while I just put this stuff together, the counterfeit detection, this is all NGC material. Okay. So I want to be very clear about that. So when we're looking at the labels, again, this is where we were talking about. The NGC's font is thick, okay? The hyphens and the dashes usually have a slight kind of bend to them, right? So when you're looking at these particular items and you come down here to the counterfeit, you can see when you're looking at the dash down at the bottom, but the 3 or the 4 and the 005 are, it's just your normal hyphen, right? Just your normal dash. But on the NGC slab, it's actually tilted and it's not a straight dash. It's actually the parallel lines, but they're offset. So it's like a, what do they call a triangle or a rectangle that has that funky slides to it? I can't remember what that's called, parallelogram or something like that. But it's actually shifted. So the bottom tip will be out and the top tip will be out. No worries, Paula. I probably need to top off coffee too. Unfortunately, I just can't walk away from it. What's up, Chappie? Good to see you, bud. But when you're looking at this, again, here we go. Looking at the font. Now, I will say this for this particular counterfeit. The font on the lettered center $1 1795 drape bus, the font's pretty close until you get to the thickness of the lettering when it comes to the grade. Okay, that's huge. Also, when you're looking at the stylized letters and numbers, you're going to see that the stylization is different. Okay. Who's got to go? Somebody's got to go. Now, again, I already showed the joint, the weld. These are something that I already went back and showed you guys earlier when I was talking about the major advancements in 2008 or 2001 when they changed the slab types. And this was a really important thing. And this is something that people overlook. But you're going to see, if you look at this very carefully, you're going to see some differences. Now, again, the slabs that Livecoin Q&A put out in their short, the one that I did for today's premiere train, they use the old type slab and it has a 2023 coin in it. So it's really important to understand the slab type. So do me a favor. You can either bookmark this video or go to your website, go to the NGC website and bookmark that page. If you want to really do good, bookmark them both because that's something. Hey, what's going on, Meg? Happy day after your birthday. I had a ton of fun. That was awesome shenanigans last night. It was really cool that everybody threw that party together for you and you had such a good evening. All right. Now let's get into the holograms themselves. Now the holograms, when you look at this, this is for the 2001, 2007 timeframe. And you're going to look at a couple things. $1 Million Meg is a new Planchet member. Thank you, my friend. Love you bunches. Make sure you send me an email with your address because I got something cool for you that I got to send. That was Angry's gift to you. So he won something from me and gifted it to you. So I got something nice I'm going to send you in honor of your birthday. But again, when you're looking at holograms, it's important to look at the details within the holograms, okay? So when you're looking at this one, you can see this kind of tool right here. And this is the handle of the handheld eyeglass, okay? But you have to look at the specifics. When you scroll down and you look at this, does that look like a spyglass? It does not, right? I don't think the people who did this hologram realized that this was actually a spyglass. Ironically, if you hear me talk, the one thing that I talk about paramount amongst anything, and it's because of my military time and because of my love for men and women who serve our nation, and that is integrity first. Well, integrity is in the eye of the beholder. So in this case, integrity is the handle within the spyglass in which we use to look at coins. There's a really cool meaning in this hologram, and I absolutely adore it. If you haven't seen this, then this is something that really just kind of made me smile when I realized what NGC had done within their slabs. Now we get down here and we look at the fake hologram details. There's a couple things that you're going to notice. Number one, you're going to notice that the language, the knowledge, the R here, it looks like RNOWLEG instead of a K. You're going to notice that integrity it's totally misspelled. I don't even know what integrity is. And you're going to see, but you're going to see a lot of misspellings. Okay, so that's going to be really important. But the next thing you're going to be looking at is the framing of this. Now, I don't know how many people use like Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or presentation or things of that nature. But there's a thing called smart art. And smart art allows you to change the characters. Numismatist. Numismaticist. Yes. Come on. Yes. That's the old joke I used to do. It used to drive you crazy when I used to say numismaticist. But yeah, so spelling issues abound, right? But when you look at like Word or presentation or PowerPoint or that, you can do word art. Now I'm going to zoom back a little bit and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And I want you to look at these side by side. And you're going to notice something. They're very pointed, whereas these are very soft and rounded. Okay. This actually ups, this goes down and then back up. This actually bends upwards. It has an illusion of going flat, but actually bends up. So everything here is slightly curved up. Here, it's not. It's up to a spike and then comes back down and then comes straight across. Whereas this one very softly bends. There's no spike at the top of the professional and then it folds over. When you look at the numismatists, you're going to see that this one has a soft curvature all the way around. This one is very pointed. In fact, if you look at this, it basically looks like they took a coaster and bent it in half, right? It is spelled wrong. It is spelled wrong. On the NGC, the original one, it is spelled wrong. Now, I didn't notice that actually. That's a good catch. I didn't notice. The NGC probably did that on purpose. But knowledge isn't spelled wrong here, and it is wrong here. Integrity is spelled right here. It's not here. This is actually spelled incorrectly. But anyway, no, it's not. Numismatist. Numismatist is spelled correctly. It's not spelled wrong. Yeah. Anyway, so when you look at these, you're looking at the word art. This is Microsoft. I'm missing something. Anyway, the fake one is spelled wrong. But when you're looking at this, you're looking at, so this is 100% word art, right? So when you look, if you're familiar with word art, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It up and down, right? Whereas this one is kind of curved, right? There's no solid lines. Now there is in the guild, and here the guild is actually curved. So where they actually do have the right format, they actually screwed it up in this one. And then obviously when you look at the PNG, now for those of you who don't know what PNG, we've heard people talking about PNG before. A lot of people were, what is PNG? That's the Professional Numismatic Grading Services, right? That's what PNG, I believe, stands for. Paula, correct me if I'm wrong on the PNG. Now, that's something else that happened on the change in 2000. Was it 2008 or was it 2000? I think PNG changed in 2016. Yeah, 2016. The ANA changed to PNG on the reverse of the slab, and that's located here in this area right here. All right. And then the last thing that I wanted to do is kind of talk to you and kind of go over some things before I bring guild. Okay. GUILD. I'm not seeing it. I'll come back and I'll look at it. I'm probably missing something. But looking at the slabs is only one aspect of the battle. Now it's important. Oh, Professional Numismatic Guild. Got you. Which is the label. I'm an idiot. That's okay. You know, hey, I need more coffee. Okay. I'm gonna take a cup of coffee and take a drink. All right. But looking at the slabs is only one small portion. Now, granted, we've only taken about 30, well, been taking about an hour, I guess, already, and went over NGC slabs. But what's really important, what you really need to pay attention to, is the details in the coins. There are some things that you need to look at because when it's in a slab, you might, if you have the right equipment, you'll be able to test the metal. But just because a gold coin tests gold doesn't mean it's authentic. Just because a gold coin weighs the right weight doesn't mean it's authentic. Just because a gold coin has the right diameter doesn't mean it's authentic. Really good counterfeits, really good forgeries have or are made oftentimes from authentic coins. They just repurpose them for the numismatic value. So really, to understand a true counterfeit by looking at slabs, a slab can fool you and a coin can fool you. But you really need to be able to look at the coin. So what I've added, and again, all this information is on NGC and they have a really good listing where they talk about the details. I'm just going to go over two specific items with you. Now, I've got another video coming out where I'm going to be talking about this in depth, specifically relating to gold. Now, I've got silver coming up in a little over an hour, where we're going to be talking about the ASC and the identification of it. But I'm going to be talking specifically about gold. It's very in depth, and it goes through a lot of different items. I'm going to be taking 4 of the top counterfeited gold coins across the globe and breaking them down for you. What you need to look at, giving you ideas, giving you examples. and showing you common die markers on some of them. Now, is it complete, robust, absolute, everything you need to know? Absolutely not. I don't know it all. I'm way, way, way from it, but I'm going to give you the best information I can. But right now, what I want to do is I want you to look at transfer dies. Now, transfer dies happen when you take a real, authentic coin. Real, authentic coin. And it's sacrificed to make a die. And that die could be made of steel, just like our normal dies are. But you take an authentic coin and you sacrifice it in order to make the die. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because you need to remember that any die mark, any scratch, any coin mark, any ding, any dent is going to be transferred to that new die. So whenever they mint a coin, i.e. the Henning nickel, a great example of this, anytime they mint a coin, that particular item is going to be there. When you're looking at the particular coin that's here on the screen, you're going to see there are 5 points. These 5 points are on 2 coins that are 3 years apart. How in the world can you have the exact same die markers on coins that are 3 years apart? You can't. The likelihood that a coin strike, that a die scratch, a die gouge, a die chip would align precisely in the exact same spot, it's slim and none. So identifying these types of things, different die markers, chips, gouges, and those things are all things you really need to be looking at when it comes specifically to the transfer die counterfeits. Now, the other major type is cast counterfeits. Now, there's more than these. You got electroplating, which I'll talk a little about, especially when we're talking about the gold or platinum. You got electroplating issues. And we'll talk about that in the video that comes out next week, or maybe in the live next week. I haven't determined it yet. And I will be talking specifically about things you need to look at with that. But the key element that you need to look for when you're talking about a cast coin is its dull, grainy, pitted appearance. Normally, the utilization of a fine-grained sand is involved, where they push 2 ends of an item together. Anybody who knows folks like Big Red Bullion or Ringmaster Ray or some of the other folks that we have that are stackers, pourers that like to do different design elements. When they build a mold, you have 2 elements of the item and you put them together, you create the hole, you pour the metal into it. Now, what happens when you do that is the joining location of that particular item leaves a ring on the rim. All right, now let me go back and pull up the 2016 slab. Excuse me, the 2008 slab. Why do I think one of the greatest advancements that NGC did was to make this clear view technology, this clear edge or this edge view technology? Because now we're able to see those things like die cast or electrotype edges, and we can see that all familiar ring that happens when they put the 2 pieces of the plate together, or when they put the holder that holds it on when they're doing the electroplating. So I think it's a really important thing to do. Now, I'm going to end this. I'm going to continue to chat. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to invite people up on panel to kind of talk about this topic, to share more information. So, Paula, if you want to come back up, that's great. If there's anybody else that has some experience this, if we got Amanda lurking or whatnot, the link is in there. Please come on up and let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and drop share in this particular screen. But again, folks, I really want to take time and dig into some of these particular items and work with folks like um, Paula and Blue Ridge and Amanda and Sean and Shay and get connected to really, you know what I really want to do? Like this is going to be a goal in 2023. I want to talk to Jack Young. I want to learn from that dude. Like I want him to share me information and insight because the dude's brilliant. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you, my friend?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Oh, I gotta pop out my chat. Pop out the chat. Pop out the chat.
So, what are your thoughts about Jack Young? Okay, so we're talking about counterfeits.
Love him.
That's the name, right? For
Jack
me,
Young. Love me some Jack Young.
that's the name. And so, one of the things that I want to do is I want to really reach out to him and learn. I'm reading books, like I am buying counterfeit books. So for you guys that don't know, I've made a commitment to you. The money that I get from memberships and the money that I get from super chats are going to purchase books. Now, I just purchased a book. I read an article about this book, but I just purchased a book that was written by a gentleman who got to interview pertaining to FBI and looking at counterfeits.
Mhm.
They got to interview probably one of the famous counterfeiters related to fake documents within the Mormon Church, and that was Mark
Oh
Hoffman.
yeah. Yep.
Right now, Mark Hoffman.
1959 mule scent.
Oh, but there's so many things that he did, and one of the
1959
things that Mark Hoffman stated was that if you have a counterfeit and it is good enough to fool the experts, for all practical purposes, it's authentic. And that mindset is not normally what we see when we talk about counterfeiting in the world of numismatics. Normally, it's people trying to fool people to get money. It's not the artist, and I say this not to raise the level of the counterfeiter who does stuff like this, but I look at things like the Omega Man. We still don't know who that was or who that team was or what. We have theory, we have ideas, but we still don't know who did that. And for years, the Omega Man gold coin fooled even the PNGs. Hoffman's information.
There's tons of counterfeits out there that are in authentic slabs.
Yeah, and they fool them.
Counterfeits out there that have been straight graded. Yeah.
So here's my point when we're talking about the stuff that I'm giving you today. The stuff that I'm giving you today is basic stuff. Mm-hmm. It's stuff everybody should know.
And I didn't hear if you said, because I kind of came in late to the game, like 30 minutes. Did you tell them about scanning the slab?
Yes.
Looking up the label and making sure the coin matches. There's a lot of times there's no photograph. They do that intentionally. They pick a coin that has no photograph on the site, but sometimes there is a photograph.
So, and I told,
and you need to immediately report that when you find one.
Bing, bing, bing. Yep, that's exactly where I'm going with that. Yep. So one thing that's really the Mega Man video game. I forgot about that, Miss Coin Crew. Wrong Mega Man. This was the Omega Man, but I remember the Mega Man video game. That was funny. One thing that's really important when you do this. Now, this goes for whether you find a counterfeit in ANAX, whether you find a counterfeit in PCGS, whether you find a counterfeit in NGC, and that is report it. If you need help reporting it, guess who'll do that for you? All of us.
Yep. Yeah,
right?
it's super easy. I mean, and
Yeah,
they are so grateful when you call them and report something. They're
but
just so grateful. So
there are a couple things that you need to do. Now, earlier, and you're going to have to remind me who it was because I said the comment, but I missed who it was. But they were like, well, I'm going to just send all my slabs to Frosty. Now, I want to tell you, you don't necessarily have to send your slab, but in many cases, if they can't determine whether it's authentic from high resolution photos, okay, listen to what I just said. High resolution photos, not your 1 megapixel camera, not your little point and shoot clicky film camera. It's got to be a high resolution photo. It's got to be a really good photo. But a lot of times they can't tell from a high resolution photo. They have to have the item in hand. Send it to them. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I don't really trust. What happens if NGC is very clear about what they will do? You will not get,
if you're a conspiracy theorist, don't even bother.
well, yeah.
Because if they tell you it's fake, you're just going to come back and tell them that they've swapped out your coin.
No, they won't. If it's in a slab, they're not going to crack the slab and change it out because,
Oh, they'll crack it to look at it. They'll crack it.
well, if the slab is authentic and they can deem it authentic, they don't necessarily need to crack it.
No,
They'll crack it if they have to, but if they have to, then they'll reslab it and then they'll label it as such. But
Well,
what I'm saying is if
they have made a mistake and graded a fake coin as a real coin for you and you bought it, they owe you money.
well, I know, but that's not what I'm referencing. If you send a slab in and they deem it authentic, they'll send you that slab back and tell you that it's authentic.
Yes.
If there's a problem, they'll crack it. Now, here's the thing. If it's a fake coin, now let's say that, and this is something that had the discussion with, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Keith. And I was like, well, they should just keep the coin. I don't know why they would return it, but he made a very good point. If it's real gold, I want that gold back. It may not be a real coin, but I want the gold back.
Well, it's not illegal for you to own it.
Right. Well, but what I was saying is because my initial thing was like, well, why don't they just destroy them? And in some cases, if it's real silver, it's real gold, or it's real platinum, you have to get that precious metal back. But they will never send you back the fake slab.
No.
They won't. They just won't do it. But what's important about reporting, what's important about doing this is that if a counterfeiter, and hold on just a sec. I'm going to step away for just a second. I'm going to grab one and show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Grab it. But they're getting really good at it now. They're also swapping out fake coins into real slabs. they're just, it's crazy. It's crazy. Your best defense is to be on the offense and find someone you trust to buy your coins from. So,
all right. Now you guys have seen this before. I've showed you guys this before. This is nothing new. I actually had this made specifically for teaching. And there's so much wrong with it. It's hilarious. So this is a fake. Okay, well, you guys are going to have to get stuck with my green screen. So hold on just a minute. I got to turn off my green screen.
You need to get a second camera, a down pointing camera, so you can show stuff.
Yeah, I had another one, but then I use it for something else. But actually, you know what I can do? Hold on just a sec. I think I can do, well, the quality is horrible, but let me change it.
Horrible.
Oh, no, it's not working.
Fiddle farting around there. That what I was trying to point out to you on that one thing was that on the real, where it says Professional Numismatic Guild on the little spyglass, the real one, they spelled numismatic right. The fake one, they spelled numismatic with an N, numismatic. That's what I was trying to point out.
Got you.
Nunis.
Okay, so you're not. It's I don't. Again, you're seeing my green screen, but so this is a fake double eagle. Okay,
You had that
1907.
made?
I had this made specifically for teaching. The slab number has been reported to NGC and PCGS, and I'll show you why. So this particular coin, now I reported the people who made the coin and what's happened, and it's all their site is all it's fake, it's plated, gold plated, silver plated, whatnot. But I'll show you some things that happen on this particular slab and why it's important to have this coin. Important for me to share it. So number one, when we talk about the NGC logo, so you see on the left-hand side, you see the barcode. But when they had the NGC for this particular one, that barcode was shifted because this element right here doesn't show right. The label here is wrong. And this doesn't have any of the design elements inside of it. Okay. Number two, it's got the NGC item here, but it's the wrong kind. Okay. The scan sends you to PCGS. It doesn't send you to NGC. This scan sends you to PCGS.
Oops.
And hold on. It's not sealed. It's open. I can open it. I can replace it.
Homer Simpson. No.
Yeah. And so now here's the thing, okay? Certificate of authenticity. When have you ever seen something from the Mint that had a certificate of authenticity on a slab? Okay, so now this is the Mint's logo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything that can be wrong with a slab is wrong with this particular coin. But when we're talking about the slab, when you look at the slab itself, it looks like one of the old NGC slabs. Now, you can't see this very well, but remember when I showed you the photos? You don't see the line elements here. And again, this isn't very good, and I'm sorry it's not very clear. But right here, right behind my thumb, you can see that little kind of area. And I'll get a better camera and take better photos of this and show you. But you can see the little connecting point. See it right there? See that? That's where you put your thumb in to open the slab.
It has a tab.
It's just a cap. Okay. And so there's no weld on this.
Or quick access.
Right now, it's got the right one, but the wrong slab type, number one. Right. So there's everything that possibly can be wrong with that particular coin or this slab is wrong. Now, when I had the coin done, I actually had them mark on it that it was, and I'll get back to my counterfeit thing here.
Like Timu.
But I keep this for education purposes. But we contacted NGC, we contacted PCGS and gave them the numbers and said, this actually scans to a real coin. Yeah. It's the right coin. It's the right year. It's the right grade. And we reported it. Now, if you go scan this, it doesn't show up. It says that number's been delisted.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's important that when you come across stuff like this, you go to the NGC, PCGS, ANAC's websites, and you tell them, Here's the photos. This is what it scans to. Show them the coin. If you want to send it to them, you can send it to them. That's fine. But report it. If you don't know how to report it or you just don't feel comfortable doing it, reach out to me, reach out to Paula. There's, reach out to the Facebook group. There's so many places that you can reach out to, and we'll make sure that we help you report those
Just
and
don't
get the
buy from
information
people
out.
you don't trust, and when it looks too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Just don't buy from Temu and Wish and all those other sites.
So Jackalope, here's the thing.
And know your coins.
So Jackalope asked a really good question. Whose real coin gets delisted? And I'll tell you right now that there's a multifold answer to that particular question. And that's because, number one, it depends. Most of the time, these counterfeiters buy the coin. They sacrifice the coin so that they can make their transfer dies. And then they make multiples of these. Okay. So now, does it happen every time? No. They may utilize another coin and then change certain elements of it. That's why you have those little marks throughout multiple years of coins, right? But if you have that coin, so let's say that I am the proud owner of the real 1907 $20 gold double eagle in MS65 plus. Now, I can tell you right now that I wouldn't own this coin because my house would be paid for if I did. Okay.
Well, they'll contact the the person they have on file that sent that coin in to be slabbed.
Exactly.
And then it's up to them to contact whoever they sold it to or whatever else if they don't still have the coin. Yeah. But that's all they can do. And oftentimes people, when they will scan a coin and it comes back with that message, they just contact NGC to find out what's up.
Yeah.
So, and NGC will usually offer for them to send it in to have it reholdered.
And that's exactly where I was going with it. Now, this does two things. Okay. Number one, it gives them a new listing.
Yeah.
Now, that's just another number for the scammers to use. I know that. But they delist the other one. Now, when they delist that does something. Okay. Something that doesn't happen when you crack it yourself. They remove the listing. So you don't have a population +1 now on the same coin, or the population +8 if somebody's getting whatever and cracking it out and cracking it out and cracking it out because they want a better grade.
Yes, they will reholder it for free, Angel.
Right. That's correct, Ms. Coin Crew. That's correct. So again, it's just important that you guys know this information. So everything that I provided today is easy on the NGC website. All I wanted to do is I wanted to put together a resource for you that was something that you could have, if you have a printer and you can print out legal size stuff, you can print that out and have it handy for you so you can do quick references. If you are in online auctions or looking at stuff like that, it's something that you can have as a file that's open to where you don't have to scroll through a bunch of different pages to find it. So I just wanted to put everything in a single place to kind of help you look at it. It is not a total resource. And I'll say this 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 more. I cannot be your sole source of information. I will fail you. But what I want to do is I want to get myself connected to a bunch of people. This is why I work with the people, the channels, the folks that I do, because I want to share with you the best information possible. And if I don't know it, damn it, I'm going to connect you to the people who do. And if they don't know it, they probably know the people who do. And so don't take my channel as the sole source. Take my information and then go watch somebody else's video and see how they jive. If you hear something somewhere else and it counters what I say, let me know. I'll look back at it.
And
who's going to hold me accountable for it?
You guys also have a outstanding resource that many people don't know about and never tap into, and that is the American Numismatic Association on YouTube. They have a learning academy on there. Jack Young has done videos on counterfeit detection, tons of them. They have videos on the minting process. They have videos on everything, anything you can think of. If you just go to their playlist, go to the American Numismatic Association channel on YouTube, go to their playlist, you can find their learning academy and just scroll through their videos. That is an untapped resource by many people on YouTube. And I would love to see more people using that.
I don't want to rebuild the wheel.
Right.
But I'll be happy to, if I can make something easier. Now, and we say this a lot. I can listen to my boss tell me the same thing 10 times. And I just don't understand the way she mentions the process. And then somebody will come through who really doesn't get it and go, oh, so that means that you do this. And I'll be like, oh, that makes sense. Now I understand. So if I can be the person, or I can connect you to the person that gives you that aha moment, that's what I want to do.
Right.
I just want to be another source.
Somebody gives you that foundation. Wait, hang on. Yeah. Hang on a second. I'll be right back.
No worries. And again, I folks, it's not YouTube genocide for me. I want to grow my channel. Okay. By the way, I just hit 1,400 subs. So thank you. You guys made 2023 just a monster cool year for me. I've been doing YouTube for a year. And to be at 1,400 subs already, it's just, it's an honor. So I want to thank you all, for that. It's really, really cool. But what I want to do is I want to give you, because numismatics, sometimes I'm going to tell you, it can be boring as hell. I love, there are some people out there who are, God, they're smart as hell, but it's like watching paint dry or grass grow or water boil. It's like, I want to make it fun, right? And so if I can give you the same information they can in a manner that kind of engages you a little bit more, I'm going to say this for Meg's behalf. If I have to come here dressed in garb from,
banana
14,
hammock?
well,
no,
did
too much? Too much? Is that too much?
Let me tell you what I did yesterday. So yesterday was $1 Million Meg's birthday.
Happy birthday.
So Ashley sent me a message and said, hey, do you want to come up and say a happy birthday? Well, I know Meg giggles every time somebody does these little stupid limericks or rhymes, poetry type stuff. Mm-hmm. So I went and grabbed my Halloween outfit that was Shakespearean time frame, dressed up, got online, and read her a birthday poem.
Nice.
Now, this is all about having fun. It's a hobby.
It is a hobby.
Right?
You should be having
Have fun with it. And that's what I want to do with numismatics.
Not fun if you're losing money, though. Not fun if you're losing money.
No. And so I don't want, I want to protect the new hobbyist. Okay. If you listen to any of the stuff that I say in my videos regarding building networks or making sure you're strategizing properly, having new people in your circle is a must. They keep you sharp. And you need to have like these people, this person, right? Iron sharpens iron.
He's nuts.
Yeah. He's nuts, not D's nuts. Yeah.
He's nuts. It's snowing, by the way, and that's my grandchildren came to tell me. Grandma, it's
snowing. But again, it's just one of those things where I want to make this fun.
Yeah.
I want to have a good time. Okay. I want to be able to share information with you. I want to be able to provide you information in a way where you guys laugh, because if you can tie laughter or some emotion to what you enjoy, you're going to remember it better. And so,
Can I give one more piece of advice?
yeah,
Before you even start worrying about fake slabs, if you're going to make a purchase, especially if it's, substantial, get to know that coin. Study that coin, learn the design, and you have to study that particular year that you want because designs changed and certain things
yeah.
changed on coins, but study that coin. The coin I have on my audio avatar is a fake. It was sent to me yesterday to look at, and it's I mean, when you get up close, it's not a good fake, but from far away, most people wouldn't know. And it's not a year that typically people would go, oh, that's an expensive coin. So, but get to know your coin, study all the design and everything.
And get to know the minting process.
Yes, do that
That's
first. Everybody should
that's
do
like,
that. You should have to do that before you can buy your first coin.
well, but the
Be a
thing is
rule.
if you don't know how something got onto a coin, if you can't say how it ended up there, then you can't tell if it's authentic or not.
But many times you can look at, like, go to PCGS Photograde. I mean, they do now, their pictures are all of nice uncirculated coins and such, but you can type in, you can type in 1924D Standing Liberty Quarter and click on images, and it'll pull up a ton of images. You just compare, start with the
Yep.
date. Then if it has a mint mark, go to the mint mark. Just look at all the little position, the little positions of things and different details. Yeah, the date was what looks like it was put on there by a 2-year-old. It's bad.
Hey, real quick, I hate to rush this. I've already jumped over part of the premiere train. I apologize. Lost track of time getting into this. I do want to do one thing as we go. So can somebody please throw in Will's treasures? We got to get over to the premiere train. I apologize. I blew
Okay,
that up.
everybody, have a good day. Have a great weekend. Love you guys. Okay, bye.
Before I leave, one final call out. If you want to help, YouTube me's sister is an elementary school teacher. They're looking for people to send them Valentine's cards for their school. If you're interested in doing that and you want to send Valentine's cards, reach out to me, exclamation point email, and we'll go ahead and hit that. Again, I apologize for going over. I got to shut this off. We got to get over to the premiere train. But you all, thank you so much. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you all for all the love and support. And we'll see you in the streams. Check out my video at 10:30. All right. Love you. See you. Bye.